debate about whether or not we should let refugees into the United States. Refugees. And then on this side, we have the pro team who is supporting refugees in the United States. So let's start it off with Emily.
Hi. Let the refugees into our country. We should not let the refugees into our countries, but one of them is poison. Then will you? It's a candy. No, because
You might be wondering what refugees are. Refugees are all people who escape from disasters or war.
First, I have a question for all of you guys. If you guys had a bowl of M&Ms and I just told you that 3 of them that there are at least 10 million refugees who are trying to come into the U.S. Since the U.S. population is 325.7,
There's a bag of Skittles. In the bag of Skittles, there are also M&Ms, Haribo's, and jelly beans. Then it means that
1 and 2, Grace and Joy make good points. Crime rates and language problems. In case study 3, I am going to talk about money problems. When we think of money, that's your hard progress. When you work, you get money, which means you work for money.
countries can help refugees. For example, Canada can help refugees because Canadian were helping Wilsons and was hiding in the refugees group. And then will be an increase of risk for the terrorists every time.
Hello, today we are going to talking about refugees and explain about refugees not help and forced to their countries.
refugees are people who have escaped from their homes due to a war, violence, and abuse. Refugees are aware of the fear of racism, religious, national, political.
Mexico border. 5,200 troops had used tear gas. Kids who are even grown-ups were research using a tear gas at your family won't you be bad? If your family members are injured by tear gas, won't you?
They also may be wiser than most U.S. citizens about life because they all somehow arrived in the U.S. They are far more determined to work successfully and productively under any possible circumstances and interacted with more peers. After all, refugees are from different countries and runaways from terrorism and political
News
violence.
today on newsdeeply.com, 29 employers say that there is a 73% higher retention rate for refugees than for employees born in the United States. The government found that refugees give $63 billion more to the American economy.
In conclusion, letting refugees into our country develops more knowledge, learning, and communication, all in all. They will bring more knowledge and wisdom.
Now we are going to open up the floor for questions. So
Question for all of you guys. A lot more refugees than you think.
Well, is there any historical events that would make that hypothetical statement?
if in the past was ever
If your family become refugee one day, you will hate refugees, so you are not going with your family.
What kind of situation is that? Is that warfare or natural disaster?
So did your family become a refugee because of war or not?
As a spiritual person.
So you become a refugee because your country doesn't exist
Yeah, but I
anymore.
will
So
not
what would you do?
become a refugee.
Okay, any questions from this side then?
Why do you think they go to other countries? It's because they have
So
Okay, Andrew.
if they are not give us benefits, then we can let them out. So
Oh, thank you, Andrew.
so they have to give us benefits, and they are going to give us benefits. So United States know that, so they United States let into America.
what I'm asking.
And also take a new parent as an example. She was a refugee from Sudan, and her nursing skills.
There are only few presidents that is going to happen in the future.
What made?
Okay.
Okay. Any questions from the?
I have a question for Joy, and she spoke about how refugees come in, and if we have an accessible.
guarantee that it will change, but I'm saying that there will be a great possibility, and I'm saying that not all the people will speak Syrian or like Arabic, like Mid-Eastern cities speaking Spanish.
Refugees in, because President Trump, he cares about our country, and he also thinks many possibilities. And if you think that you guys can convince President Trump, if so, how?
I think government can help President Trump try to convince him. Or in future, there will be new president who's going to not against let refugees into the United States.
I have a question for Sam. Immigrants killed border troops. Here's the thing. Border troop had killed an immigrant with spike strips. How do you think about that?
They maybe crashed under it.
Maybe they felt dangerous from there. Why do you think that they just feel danger?
Okay, that's not an answer. Any other questions from this side?
Talked about it, and it all.
They gave us benefits like they paid $21,000 more in Texas. They have to receive according.
Then do you guys think all the refugees will put their 100% effort on their work and try to improve their socio-economic status? And if so, how can you guarantee Elizabeth and you?
Me? Last question.
Just like what Joy said, there is a great
There
possibility.
might be a possibility that our country will vanish. So why don't we just don't do it, first of all, so that we can.
Problem with a tear gas.
Okay,
For this against refugees team over there. Instead of spending billions of dollars on border control and constructing a wall,
okay, Sam.
So, like what I said, there are a lot of more refugees than you think. We can't even help all of them.
The problem is the 3 poisonous M&Ms, we don't know which they are, and how are we going to distinguish them, good and bad people, without wasting money and time?
Against. The United States was first established by refugees running away from religious
That they
persecution.
were going to build a country and make it well. But other refugees that are trying to come into the United States right now, they're just running for life, and you can't even guarantee that they're going to put 100% effort to their
Ryan, our question for the protein. So, what if Japanese people who what's against Korean people is trying to come Korea and live?
Okay, Andrew.
So, like, if we have war, so Japanese reject.
Come to Japan again.
Okay, Danny.
Well, Japan's not asking for them. Japanese are not asking Korea to come in. Like,
Elizabeth.
Well,
They're running for their life.
I mean, they run for their life, but why Korean? They have a hatred against
go to China.
Korean.
They have to realize first.
They can go to China.
Alright, so you said there are a lot of refugees coming in, right? So far, 2018, tear gas, spike strips.
What if
We
they were just
wouldn't like attack them when they're doing nothing. They
And what's a
should-
spike strips?
Huh?
It's a murder with the spike strips. What's
Thank
that?
you so much. That concludes our debate, but we will be taking. We have to take a vote. So we'll start with the teachers' vote. Which side teachers? Okay. All right. Now, 1, 2, 3. Points about supporting refugee status. And thank you so much to the con team who had great refutes to the question. Thank you.